I might have a black and blue face, or the stitches might hurt, or might have a burning sensation. I might feel like I've been hit by a bus.
It's not going to be all that pleasant. It involves quite a few injections and things, and it's quite intense insofar as they'll be working on the head all the time.
They're going to basically suck the fat out of my stomach.
The doctor told me that he's going to hammer the bone, chisel that away. He's going to remove the little squidgy bit on the end and just pull it up a little bit to make it just a little bit shorter.
I believe that I will have all the top surface of my skin removed, and most of the marks on my face will go, and some of the wrinkles.
Make that smaller, but at the same time he's going to lift up the angle of my tit and make it even finer here. I'm not going to have a Michael Jackson nose though, it's just going to be finer and straighter.
New Zealanders are changing, permanently, painfully changing their figures and their faces. This year, over 7,000 Kiwis will each spend the price of a decent second-hand car on cosmetic surgery. Who are they? Why are they doing it? And will changing their looks change their life?
I've wanted one for it sounds like I'm going out shopping. I've wanted one for so long. I wanted a flat stomach for so long, so hopefully, I mean, they say it will in the pamphlet, so that's what I'm hoping I'm going to get.
A healthy, active 32-year-old size 12 mother of two, Julie power walks every morning, eats a healthy diet and is rigorous about her sit-up routine. Still, she looks at her stomach and sees nothing but stubborn fat.
I have lost a lot of weight since I first wanted to get the operation done, but I've had a pot stomach for most of my life, and I'd say it'd be hereditary, and even doing sit-ups and every day, it just doesn't go. And it's true what they say, you get a spot and you can't move it, and it doesn't matter how much weight you lose around it, it still just won't go. Because I've never had problems with my legs, it's always just been around my stomach.
And yet, on close inspection, many would say, what stomach?
People probably look at me and say, oh, what do you want to have that done for, and you don't need to have it done, and I just can't be bothered explaining to them, why I'm doing it. And also, as I said before, just, it'd be really good to see if they can actually notice. I think you've got to go in there not wanting to look like Al McPherson anyway. You've got to be realistic, what you want to look like. And I haven't got a body like Al McPherson, I'm certainly not going to get one just by going like that, but something that just so when I sit down I haven't got rolls of fat rolling over the top of my trousers, that's basically all I want.
Julie has done her homework and is fully aware that there'll be no gain without some pain.
Well, I know there's going to be quite a lot of bruising, and it's going to be swelling as well, and there might be a little bit of weeping or discharge from the actual puncture wound.
But her goal is a tangible one. In fact, it's already hanging in the closet.
Well, this is the dress that I want to be able to fit into after the operation. I mean, I can fit it now, but it's a little bit tight, so hopefully after the operation it'll fit just nicely.
Looks like it's broken all the time. And just the fact that I used to have really chubby cheeks when I was, up until I had children at 23, and now that I've lost all the weight in my face, my nose just seems to stick out a bit more like a parrot.
Wendy's also a mother of two who's now bringing up her children on her own. Her life is at a turning point. She's launching a new career as an interpreter for the deaf, and there's a second job she also wants, a nose job.
It's more for confidence and self-esteem that I'm doing it than any other reason, really. I've just, like I say, I've just come out of a marriage, and it's time to be me, and it's time to do things for me. So, yeah. Lots of people have said that there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not their nose.
Wendy's nose runs in the Finch family. She's inherited the distinctive size, shape, and that bump from her father.
I did approach my father and ask him for permission to get rid of the family trait. So he's really happy about it. He said, it's my nose and I can do what I want with it. So, I thought he might mind. But it was a family thing I was getting rid of.
A nose job is recognised as the most difficult surgery to recover from emotionally. It's that rather than the pain that's worrying Wendy.
Pretty natural childbirth, so yeah, I'm not really worried.
Julie's brought her pot tummy to meet cosmetic dermatologist Paul
Thank you,
Salmon.
Julie. That's great. Well, I'm relieved. I thought when I first saw you sitting there, you might not have a tummy at all. But there it is. So this is what you want to get rid of? This area here?
Paul's a specialist of 16 years experience, recently returned from the cosmetic surgery capital of the world, America.
Right, so this is what's going to go, this stuff here. All right, well, in summary, I think you are a good candidate for liposculpture. You've got a discrete area of adiposity, fat on the tummy that you can't seem to lose. You're otherwise in great shape, and we can deal with that very easily with liposculpture under local anaesthetic.
Great.
And as for Mira, at 19 years old, she's already a plastic surgery veteran.
My mum's going to find out about this now that I'm saying it on TV.
Mira is still a teenager, though more worldly than most. An exotic dancer by night, she's been saving for the day when she can buy herself a new nose. Mira's already had erbium laser resurfacing to remove acne scars on her face and Botox injections to eliminate lines on her forehead. And her upcoming rhinoplasty operation is unlikely to be her last.
Most of the girls that I know, well, a lot of them, are all intending to have breast jobs or, you know, a lift or something. So I might think about it eventually. What else? Another set of laser surgery because my skin's not quite perfect enough. It's not smooth enough, and it'll look a lot better once I got that done. Maybe a breast job. What else would I do? I don't need lipo. I know pretty much about every operation that actually happens, but those are probably the only ones that I need to get done.
Mira has her heart set on a new profile, even though all her friends tell her she doesn't really need one.
Everybody says that. They say it's not that bad, but the point is, I think if I could improve my profile, I'd improve my confidence a lot, for one. And also, you know, then I might actually feel attractive enough to go out there, get some photos done and get into acting, because that's what I wanted to do anyway.
Right. Well, under the hat is virtually nothing. Just a bit of fluff, and the reason why I want the operation, I guess, is because I can't live with looking like this.
The majority of men who seek cosmetic surgery do it for exactly that reason. 41-year-old postal worker Tony would just be happy to have enough hair to run his own fingers through.
It bothers me a hell of a lot. It really, really bugs me every day. I even find myself inwardly cursing at guys my own age who've got a lot of hair, who've done nothing wrong, but I just get really angry that this happened to me. I know there's people who've got worse conditions than male pattern baldness, but this is my particular bugbear, and it really, really annoys me.
In an ironic twist, this barbershop is a place Tony visits every day to deliver the mail.
No matter how successful it is, I think I'll always be angry with fate or God or whatever that I had to pay for whatever in it, what so many other people have had for free.
Surgery is a last resort for a man who's tried everything else, including a toupee.
I think the best way to look at it is from straight on it. From behind it doesn't look so real. It's more what it feels rather than what it looks like, and it doesn't look 100%. Well, I think I look around about the age I should, that I am, or maybe even younger. Yeah, probably younger. I'd say might look about 35. And now I think I look 50. My eyes go straight to it, and you know, it's like I can tell you that I literally dream of having hair again, and sometimes I wake up and think that the nightmare was that I had lost my hair, And then I look in the mirror and realise that that's the reality, you know.
Hi, Wendy. Now tell me what is in your mind that you want to change about your nose, please.
I'd like to get rid of the bump there in the bridge.
Yes.
And yeah, that's mainly it. The main problem, just make it look a bit smaller.
Sure. And just face me this way, please. And again on the front view.
Dr. Warren Chan is a controversial figure in cosmetic surgery circles, having appeared before the Medical Council several times. His philosophy is a simple one. If they have the money, he has the scalpel.
I see my role as, I'm here, the technology is available, and if people want to change to look better and feel better about themselves, I don't think that there's anything wrong with that.
I think the key part of this procedure, tumescent liposculpture, is the special tumescent anesthetic solution. And putting this in is definitely the most uncomfortable part of the procedure.
Julie will remain awake for her full 4-hour session of liposculpture. That's the nice new name for liposuction. This is by far the most common cosmetic procedure in the United States, and New Zealand is following that trend. The first step is to pump the area full of saline solution to reduce the bleeding.
I just feel that cannula pushing around, but I can't. It's not painful at all.
No.
Contour lines have been drawn on Julie's stomach to show where her fat will be sucked away.
So you have noise just like that. All right. That's the suction noise.
Like the audible pinch that you
Might be the audible pinch. Yeah.
Under local anaesthetic and dosed with pethidine, Julie remains fully aware of what's going on, giving her surgeon someone to talk to during the lengthy 4-hour operation.
You've got this much over on this side.
Yeah.
So it's still lots on this side, but that's all that you've got there. We can pinch between our fingers on this side. So Julie, is this where you store those crunchy bars?
No, it's Tim Tams actually.
Oh, you see, this means we don't know anything. As you can see, we're running out of fat here.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
The advantage in performing liposculpture under local anaesthetic is that Paul can have Julie sit up so he can check his handiwork halfway through.
Oh, it's nice and saggy. Oh God, yeah, I can notice the difference, definitely. Especially on the side.
1.5 litres of fat later, Julie's done.
They ooze for about 24 hours, maybe up to a week of just serous ooze.
Which is leftover tumescent anaesthetic.
I thought, when you say 3 or 4 hours, I thought, oh boy, that's a long time, and it's gone really fast.
Time flies when you're having fun. Is that right, Julie?
When you're on drugs.
I'm going to plug your nostrils, so you might have to breathe through your mouth.
Wendy's paying $4,200 for a straightforward nose job under local anaesthetic.
When it comes to cosmetic surgery, I think that one of the most common thing or possible thing is that the end result is not what the patient wants. So therefore, it's very important to establish from the outset what the patient's got in mind, what their expectation is. Okay, there will be a tiny injection. You can see how we go.
The sting of the needle is all Wendy will feel, but just like Julie, she'll be awake through the whole thing, listening to Dr. Chan as he talks her through the operation.
So I'm into the nose now. First up, I'm going to expose the septal cartilage, which is the center bit which dictates the length of the nose. And I'm going to trim, I'm shorten it a bit. And you can see she's very comfortably, and the nose is numb, so.
After trimming the cartilage, Dr. Chan picks up a hammer.
Okay, don't worry about the sound, Wendy, it's just a bit of hitting sound. Okay. It's done in a very controlled manner. Go. Slow down. You see, once the sound change, the tone of the sound change means that the bone has been divided, so we're going to just give a bit of push and it's already narrowed down.
Wendy's rhinoplasty takes less than an hour.
Nose operation normally is very fast because it's such a small area, and if you know what you want to achieve, it's really straightforward.
Time flies during the operation, but the next 5 days will be the longest in Wendy's life. That's how long she must wait before seeing the result.
Are you comfortable there, or you want more sedation? You're all right.
I spend a lot of time outdoors, with my work and with sports, and I just haven't taken any care at all with the sun.
Mary's 53 and about to have erbium laser resurfacing treatment on her face. A life in the sun has left her skin lined and wrinkled. She also has deep lines around her mouth from 35 years of cigarette smoking.
I think it's going to look pretty bad. I think it's going to be very sensitive. Growing new skin, well, not really new skin, but the underneath layer will be exposed. I think it'll be very red and a bit delicate.
Underneath these bandages, the evidence of just how delicate Mary's face turned out to be.
Just blocking the supratrochlear nerve now.
It takes multiple injections of local anaesthetic to block all sensation in Mary's lips, cheeks and forehead before her session of laser surgery begins. Anaesthetic causes the skin to puff up, so lines have to be drawn highlighting the marks and wrinkles before they become disguised by the plumping of the flesh.
So what's your favourite poison, Mary? Red wine, white wine, gin and tonic, rum and coke?
All of the above.
Oh, all of the above.
Laser surgery isn't the quietest of operations, and Mary won't be unconscious for it. However, she's hoping the combination of a late night and the local anaesthetic will be enough to let her catch up on some much-needed sleep. The laser light itself is invisible, so the surgeon uses a red aiming beam to direct his movements. A small but high-powered vacuum cleaner sucks away the smoke and heat. Erbium laser resurfacing has just arrived on the New Zealand cosmetic scene.
Produces light at a different wavelength at 2,140 nanometers, still in the infrared, so you're able to produce even a cleaner type of ablation of the skin or vaporization of the skin without any heat effect associated with that. We'll be taking off this big solid and Tygo. Probably take a couple of passes to clear it off. Suction things. Should get a 60% improvement in them. It's like turning back the clock 6 or 7 years.
Metal lids that resemble large contact lenses are inserted to protect Mary's eyes from the laser beam.
She's got very small eyes.
Laser light directed into the eye would burn a hole in the cornea and damage Mary's delicate retina.
I've got a friend who's a well-known laser surgeon in the US in California, and she's completely blind in one eye from a laser accident, so we're very stringent about eye safety in the theatre.
Mary's also having botulism toxin injections in her brow. Better known as Botox, it paralyses muscles, reducing frown lines.
And that's an effect that's not permanent. It will wear off over about 3 months, probably the first time she's had it done, although the effect lasts longer when you have it done more than once.
Dressing on, Mary's daughter is on hand to escort her mummified mother to her car.
Have a good night. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Where's the car?
Down at the end of this aisle here. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling quite good. Just a little bit wobbly from the pethidine.
Wendy's spent a quiet weekend at home, keeping a low profile while her new profile heals.
I didn't want to go out and show myself looking like this, so I just thought I'd just hide away. I had some friends and family come over. I felt really well. I was expecting to feel really groggy after the sedation and thought I'd be in bed for a couple of weeks, but on the Friday I just sort of rested on the couch, and Saturday I felt fine, felt quite normal and was able to do sort of normal things around the home and play with the kids.
In fact, she can't remember much about the operation at all.
I remember the doctor putting the sedative in my arm, and he said the roof would start to spin, the ceiling, so that happened, and then I just went to sleep, and I felt some grinding and some banging, and I remember cracking a couple of jokes, and that was it.
Tony's arrived for his hair transplant consultation, pinning his hopes on the skill of surgeon Paul Salmon. It's a $2,500 investment he'll be making, and his doctor wants to be sure Tony's expectations aren't unrealistic.
So you've got a fairly fairly low density of hair, even hair on the back of your head. You don't have a great donor resource, and if you're going to have some transplants done, we need to make the most of the transplants that you do have done.
How much of a full head of hair, reasonable full head of hair, that is a man of my age, with hair from the ear backwards, could I hope to regain?
Well, you're pretty challenging for a hair transplant because your density is not great. So we won't be harvesting, really great amounts of hair per square millimetre to use as transplants. That means we're going to have to be very careful about how we use them and try and give you the most bang for your buck, so to speak.
We've got rid of the baggage inside, but the baggage kind of remains here. That's how I see it for me.
At $8,000, 46-year-old Sue's neck and facelift will cost more than landing on a hotel in Mayfair.
When I look in the mirror,
That's 10.
often I see
The other one.
the heaviness around here. It's often a cool reminder.
Daddy.
Sometimes when I look and hear the comments that my children say to me about, "Mum, what's wrong?" or "Why did you look at me like that, Mum?" And I'll be perfectly normally happy, and I might look at someone and say, "Why did you look at me like that?" as though I'm sour. So it's not about pumping my face full of plastic, or it's not going to take away lines or even wrinkles. All it will do is draw up some saggy skin here and under my neck here and give me a fresher look.
The vast majority of patients choose their surgeon by word of mouth. This is Sue's first experience with cosmetic surgery, and she's picked Dr. Warren Chan.
I have a friend that's had surgery with him. She had exactly the same procedure. She looks really good.
1 week after her liposculpture, Julie's starting to see results under her form-fitting support garment.
And it's like dead flat. He actually said there might have been a little bit of a pouch, but at the moment there's nothing. And if that's still swollen, it's going to be great results, in even a couple of weeks' time. Because the swelling goes down a little bit every day. Because when I first got the garment, I could only get it done up to about there, and now I've nearly got it right round to there. I expected more pain and more bruising, and it'd been a lot harder to get around than what it was. But it's been much better than I ever expected. Not just on my stomach, I actually feel small everywhere. Like these jeans, even in the legs, it feels like the fat's been sucked right up and out.
Mira let her fingers do the walking when it came to selecting her surgeon. She found ear, nose and throat specialist Jim Bartley in the Yellow Pages.
I was looking at the advertisements, and there was probably 2 or 3 people that did nose surgery. I actually looked at Jim Bartley's advertisement first. I thought that would be quite good, because he said specifically rhinoplasty, bat ear. Bat ears, ears stick out.
Jim Bartley performs around 90 rhinoplasties a year, many of them domestic violence cases, but he does do some cosmetic work.
There is no evidence that a ENT, ear, nose and throat surgeon or a plastic surgeon can do a rhinoplasty any better or any worse than each other. And probably the important thing is the number of operations that the surgeon is doing and the experience that he has, rather than whether he's a ear, nose and throat surgeon or whether he's a cosmetic surgeon.
Sniffing drops to clear her nasal passage, Mira is looking beyond the painful recovery period to the end result.
It'll be bruised as hell, but it'll be there.
She's got an over-projecting tip, and she's got quite a large, what I'd say a large bulbous tip. And there are a number of ways that one can approach this surgically.
Mira's nose surgery will be a complicated process, so Jim has chosen to work on her under general anaesthetic.
We've marked out the hump that we're going to take off, and I've also marked out here on one of her lower lateral cartilages where we're going to thin. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make some incisions inside the nose and just get access to the dorsum of the nose.
Jim partially breaks Mira's nose to remove the hump.
The use of breaking the bones depends really on how much hump you're actually taking off. With Mira, we didn't take off too much hump, and we were able to file down the bones on both sides to thin it down.
He's also harvesting a graft from inside her nose to use later in the operation.
You can imagine if we're just doing a hump, we'd have finished an hour ago.
Jim makes a small incision at the end of the nose, then lifts the skin up so he can work on the cartilage underneath.
By taking off that bit there, we're lowering the tip of her nose. We're actually able to lower the tip of her nose.
The graft Jim harvested earlier is now sculpted. and placed between the lower lateral cartilage as a strut.
So what we're going to do is we're going to use this strut here, just to try and equalise it.
A careful stitch provides the final shaping.
By putting this suture in, we're able to actually just narrow the tip of the nose just a little bit.
And finally the nose is sewn back into place.
In 2 weeks, I think she'll have hardly a scar there at all. There's a lot of argument between these two approaches as to whether one should do it all through the nose. And the major criticism is the scar. And if the patient's left with no scar whatsoever, then it's very difficult to actually criticise this approach, apart from the fact that it takes a little bit more operating time, but it certainly gives you a lot more control over what you're doing.
Jim feels he has satisfied his patient without going too far. Radical change can lead to problems, as some famous faces have found out.
If you look at Tori Spelling, she's now getting the results of too aggressive trimming of her lower lateral cartilages. Helena Christensen's nose is also starting to collapse in because someone has done far too aggressive nasal surgery.
8 days after her laser therapy, Mary's bandages are off, though her skin remains a little red and some bruising is still visible.
Under my eyes is better. I had a big scar down the side of my nose where I dived into a swimming pool and hit the bottom, and that's gone. So there's a big difference.
The night before her facelift, Sue woke up with terrible toothache and took some Aspro to relieve the pain. What she didn't know was that aspirin thins the blood and that can cause excessive bleeding. Her operation had to be cancelled.
These are the culprits. Well, I can't have my surgery today.
But what will become of her $500 deposit? It's the day of reckoning for Wendy. Back to Dr. Chan to have her splint removed.
I'm more nervous about having the plaster taken off than I was about having the operation.
Changing your nose changes your whole face. Rhinoplasty patients' first reactions are often ones of shock.
That's it. All right, here you the mirror, you can have a look. I know it's hard to accept it, but a lot of times take a little while to get used to your new image.
I don't know what to look. Oh my God. Good grief. This is so different. Comfortable there, Tony?
Hair transplantation is an exacting process, and Tony's doctor, Paul Salmon, is one of only 2 specialists based permanently in New Zealand who offer this procedure.
You comfortable there, Tony?
Yeah.
Yep. So what we've done is anaesthetised the area where we're going to take the grafts from on the back of his head with some standard local anaesthetic, and we're going to cut some strips. Whole procedure is pretty time consuming. This will take probably the rest of the afternoon, 4 or 5 hours.
A donor strip is lifted from the back of Tony's head. It will then be refrigerated to slow down the metabolism of the hair follicles.
A bit groggy, I'm not sure if it's from just the position or the dragging it just a little bit. Yeah. But there's no pain whatsoever.
In the room next door, technicians start dissecting the donor strips into grafts.
It's actually quite enjoyable in a way, really, I think, because it's sort of quite, you know, you go about your business type work, really, I think.
Each individual graft will use between 1 and 5 hair follicles.
Well, we've marked out the area that we're going to fill here. It's quite a large area, but this is a key area for Tony to have filled to improve his appearance.
Tony's chosen only local anaesthetic and a mild sedative to see him through the lengthy procedure.
Local anaesthetic, and that's why it's swollen, and Tony can't feel anything.
A bit of banter helps to pass the time.
I can't feel a thing.
There's no brains coming out yet.
I feel as if there's a protective covering over my head, and I'm just trying to figure out what it's made of.
What it's made of is mini hair grafts, using more hair follicles than would grow naturally.
If we were to do only micrografts, that is 1, 2 and 3 hair follicles, which is how the hair occurs normally in the scalp, then he'd probably just look like someone who'd had chemotherapy. That is just a diffuse lot of fine hair. Whereas these mini grafts are going to give him some density.
It is sore.
Popping some anaesthetic in now.
Great. I want to get out and stretch.
Well, we're just about there.
Once all the mini grafts are in place, it's on to the micro grafts of just 1 or 2 follicles.
Put smaller grafts around the edges. It's just to camouflage the large ones, so you have a more natural hairline.
Tony's pain tolerance finally runs out.
Yeah, I really need some pain relief at this stage, thanks.
Oh, so you're going to go for the pethidine after all? Yeah, I would. I think it's a smart choice.
Yes, thanks.
Okay. Yeah, Leanne.
Oh yeah, I can feel the relief, all right. It's great.
You get all this hair and you have a good time.
It's now 6 weeks after Mary's laser therapy, and she's ready to show off her new face to her friends.
Goodness.
What do you think?
It's a vast improvement, isn't it?
Well, how bad was it before?
Mate, tremendous job.
Do you think it's really different?
Oh, tremendous. All the marks gone down the side.
Yeah.
Wrinkles gone out of here. It is. It's good.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. I didn't think it would be this different.
Oh, I didn't think it could be. No, it was a great job.
It feels really good, and I think it looks good. I didn't think it was going to be this good and so easy. Well, people that know that I've done it think it's amazing. People that don't know that it's been done just think that I'm very relaxed and looking good.
Tony is still 3 to 6 months away from looking good, but he's back the next day to have his bandages off. Last night's surgery is nothing but a blur. He doesn't even remember his surgeon driving him home afterwards.
Tony, how was your night?
Well, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Did you get any sleep?
Yes, I woke up plenty of times, which I guess means that I went to sleep plenty of times.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Absolutely perfect. Sometimes you get a little bit of tiny bits of bleeding around the grafts, so you get a little bit of crusting, and he's got, really minimal crusting.
While Dr. Salmon's happy, Tony's satisfaction will only come from seeing what grows out of his freshly planted scalp.
Would you accept a ride with this man?
Maybe not today.
It's a fortnight since the nose job, but Wendy and her family are still getting to grips with her new look.
It feels smaller, sounds funny to say, but I can feel the bumps gone. There's a bit more air going past. But yeah, no, I have got used to it. I like it. It's still a bit sore. So, when I'm washing my face, I feel it there. So once it's, finally healed inside, I won't even think about it. Beautiful. My sense of smell disappeared for about a week, and then it's coming back in waves. I can smell something and then I can't smell. I don't notice it really, unless there's a strong smell there.
So does she consider it money well spent?
Well, it was $4,200, and I think it was well worth it because it's made me feel so much better. Yeah, it's done a lot for my self-esteem and my confidence, and I know I can go out now and I won't worry if someone takes a photo of me from the side.
But the old nose still has one fan.
It's terrible. I can't die now because I've got to keep the nose going. Yeah, but she looks great, eh? She's happier. She doesn't pick it so often.
You peel it off.
For Mira, it's been 5 days of watching videos and eating pizza. This will be her first look at Jim Bartley's artistry.
The tips come down, and the tip doesn't look so prominent, and the tip's looking a lot thinner, and there's allowed to be a bit of swelling around there from where we narrowed it.
Yeah, it's a little bit sore right now, of course. I can't wait to show it off. I'm going out tonight, so...
Thorough man that he is, Jim likes to check his handiwork from all angles.
There's a saying, which I don't know whether I should say in this company, that the only people who ever see this are your dog and your lover. The left side's a little bit blocked from where we took a graft for that strut that you saw at the front of the nose, but that should settle down over the next week or so. One of the issues is when I first started being taught this, you'd see patients come back at a week and their eyes would still be closed and there'd be bruising around their eyes. And I think if you're careful with what you're doing and getting the right tissue planes and you're gentle, then you can really keep the bruising to a minimum.
The other day I was holding up the mirror, even when I had the cast on, and I blinked and I could see my eyelashes, because when I had the hump before, I couldn't see the eyelashes on the other side. And that was great. It was great.
Good news for Sue too.
You might want to close your eyes, please.
Warren Chan finally squeezes her into his busy schedule. Next time Sue sees herself, she'll be looking at a different woman.
This is Hypnoval or something. It's actually quite similar to Valium. And it is a very good sedative. And she will just gradually, slowly fall into a light sleep. And of course, we'll just top her up as we go.
The $8,000 facelift is Warren Chan's favourite procedure. He's performed more than 500.
It's just like going to the dentist. That's how I feel.
To keep the scarring invisible, Warren will make the incisions for the facelift around Sue's ears.
I'm just going to use what we call hydrodissection.
Before the actual surgery begins, about 100 cc's of fat will be sucked from Sue's
neck. You can see
neck.
that the skin is been elevated. You see? The anesthetic solution goes under the skin and separates the skin from the muscle. It numbs the area. It also controls the bleeding. You might want to close your eyes, please. It is just a to and fro movement to remove the fat by suction and sculpt the face, and at the same time elevate the skin away from the muscles. And once I'm in there, there's very little cutting involved.
It's very comfortable. It's hard to describe really. I guess like a pumping motion.
You feel the physical movement.
Yeah.
With the excess fat out of the way, the skin around the ears is lifted, opening up the area where tunnels have already been created by the liposuction cannula.
I use this instrument again to basically dissect according to the tunnels. You can see a lot of tunnels there. And just a bit of push that they're already open, you see? You can see how bloodless and easy it is.
Not only bloodless, this method of creating tunnels beneath the skin also minimises the risk of hitting any nerves.
My finger is just about in the middle of the neck. That's where the extended dissection I want to achieve. Yeah, you can see that. We can see it clearly all the way down to the neck.
The face is lifted by tightening the platysma facial muscle, and Sue's not shy about asking for what she wants.
Remove more skin on the neck without really doing it, because I'd like it tighter.
Well, then leave it to me. Well, a facelift should last, I think up to 10 years. Okay, we're going to close up now by pulling the skin over the ear. There's a bit more release here requires.
The excess skin is trimmed, and then it's a simple needle and thread job. Sue's facelift has taken less than 2.5 hours. She's been conscious the entire time.
Turn ahead a bit. When the patient is under general anesthetic, they've got a tube in the throat. And it is it's much harder to maneuver. So actually, this apart from the fact that it's much better for the patient, the twilight sedation and local anesthetic is really my preferred method.
Okay, so
It looks like last year's cat.
Mira's nose has settled down nicely.
And then it comes around and it ties up at the back.
Right.
And true to her word, she is getting that acting portfolio together.
Barbara Streisand minus the nose.
Julie's new flat stomach calls for a new wardrobe. 7 weeks after her liposculpture, she's out shopping for a new pair of jeans in a smaller size.
It's just so nice being able to go into a shop and go to that end of the rack instead of, not that a 12, 14 is big by any means, but for me I always felt a bit, it was always uncomfortable. And I can sit down now and I haven't got the rolls hanging over like I used to. So this was me 10 months ago, and I didn't even have to wear them with a belt. And now I need a new pair of pants. By December, that's when I'll see the final results. But it's gone down so much. I've gone from a size 12 to 14 down to a size 8 to 10. Some things are 8s and some clothes are 10, size 10. My stomach's been a pain for me for as long as I can remember. And now, I'd recommend it to anybody.
5 weeks after his hair transplant, Tony isn't here to just drop off the mail.
Getting the haircut de-accentuates the bald areas. We bald guys have to do that, you know, otherwise you end up looking pretty bedraggled, you know, with suddenly, well, personally speaking anyway, I think there's nothing worse than bald-headed guys with long hair.
Tony's new hair is still months away from making an obvious difference, but you can't hide anything from your barber.
Yeah.
Bit of wet weather out there for us today.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Football on?
Sorry?
The football on this afternoon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What have you had up here? You had a bit of a hair transplant done?
Oh, yeah, you bet.
Have you?
Yep.
I can see the little mark there.
Can you?
It's healed up rather nicely.
Ah, that's good to know, yeah.
But there'll be at least one more session with the surgeon before Tony's sprouting a head of hair he's happy with.
After having hair, I think I'll be able to think just exactly what I do want to do with my life. The worry that and the depression that it has given me has obsessed me for so long that I haven't really been able to think or plan anything else.
Just 2 days after the operation, so we're going to take off the bandages for sure. Okay, this is a moment of the truth. Unveiling, here we go. Beautiful, hardly any bruising. That's how I like to see it. You can smile. The jawlines are very nicely sharpened. There's hardly any bruising, just a couple of marks there. But I'm very, very pleased.
The few bruises there are look no worse than love bites.
That's amazing that I've been through all that surgery and it's been so, it hasn't even been traumatic for me.
Remember the stress? It's her daughter's first birthday party and Julie is celebrating in more ways than one.
My clothes are definitely a lot smaller. I feel heaps better about myself. I just feel lighter generally.
From this first experience of cosmetic surgery, Julie can see how it could become addictive.
Everybody will need the operation after you've had this. When I first got it done, it was like, wow, you know, look, it looks awesome. And then after a while, you see it, you know, when you're having a shower or whatever, and then you look at it, and then day after day, it just doesn't seem as small as what it did, but I mean, it's totally in your head. And yes, I can see people getting something done and they think, oh, why didn't I get that part of me done as well, just to make it match up a little bit better.
And Julie's not the only one to notice and appreciate the changes. Husband Campbell's happy too.
Oh, there's a huge difference for sure. Yeah, no, it's great. Looks like an 18-year-old again.
Sue's so thrilled with her facelift, she can hardly wait to get it home and show it off to her daughter Michelle.
Only 2 days.
And you thought they didn't take off enough?
Teasing moments.
Oh, that's great.
I won't cuddle too hard my neck.
No.
I mean my ear.
You've got huge earlobes.
I know this hair is great, and I know it's going to go a bit more ski jumpy, but not too much. No bumps, not too wide. Oh, it's good.
Just 2 weeks after Mira's nose was broken, cut open and largely reshaped, she's ready for her close-up. Although she is still getting used to the stranger in the mirror.
Excellent, great. You look in the mirror and you catch yourself and you look like somebody else. I guess I'm a lot more comfortable with it. Yeah, I don't have to stress out quite so much about what angle a person should see me from. But I think it has given me more confidence.
Having boosted her confidence, she's now planning to boost other bits.
My flatmate and I are planning in 3 months to go get breast augmentation in Brisbane. Brisbane being because we've seen a number of really, really natural-looking, pretty much perfect jobs that have been done in Brisbane by a certain doctor. A few of the jobs I've seen done in New Zealand have a bit more to be desired about them. There's a few problems they've had, and I'm not sure if that's the doctors or if it's just maybe a lack of experience.
Beauty does have its price, and Mira is one of a growing number of New Zealanders who are prepared to pay it.
Personally, I don't think that was very much, considering what a change and a difference it's made. Nothing's too much to pay to look good.
This program was made with the help of your broadcasting fee, so you can see more of New Zealand on air.